Hey everyone, so I graduated high school. Check it out.
Congratulations!
On with the video. Alright guys, so it's the day after graduation and I thought it'd be a cool video to make on how to stop your longboard. So today we're going to be talking about foot braking because it's the easiest type of braking to learn and it's pretty essential because you kind of need to know how to stop your board eventually. You don't want to just jump off your board every time you're going too fast. So I'm going to be going over 4 key steps to learning foot braking, what you need to know, and how to do it. It's going to be great, so let's get started. Alright guys, so before you learn the foot brake, there's 2 essential things that you're going to need to know how to do before you attempt the foot brake. And the first one is pretty simple, but it is definitely key. Being able to ride comfortably on your board. A lot of people will get their board and either instantly start learning tricks or trying to do cool things with it without taking the time to perfect their riding. You need to be able to ride the board comfortably, be able to cruise around, pick up the kicktail and move it around, and just not feel uncomfortable in any way at all. Now to get better at this, you just gotta practice. Practice your balance, practice riding around. It'll get easier the more you do it. So that's the first thing, you have to know how to ride really comfortably on your board. So the second thing, it kind of follows the comfortably riding thing, but it's a little more in-depth. You need to get comfortable riding your board with only 1 foot on the board. I'm not saying you have to be able to, ride 400 meters or whatever with 1 foot on the board, but at least 10, 20 meters where you're somewhat comfortable on 1 foot, and it's really going to help you a lot with this foot braking. So again, like the first step, it's just a lot of practice. Just practice, put your board in the grass, stand out on 1 foot, practice your balance, and then slowly move to the concrete, give it a little bit of push. And actually, the faster you're going, the more stable you're going to be on 1 foot, even though it's a little more scarier to do. That's the second tip. Just, you got to learn at least a couple meters how to stay on your board with 1 foot on it, because with foot braking, 1 foot is going to be on the ground to brake. So you're going to need at least a little bit of stability on that 1 foot. It's just going to help a lot with your control of the board and your balance, and there's really nothing bad that can come from learning how to ride on 1 foot, at least a little bit. Another thing that might help you with riding with 1 foot on the board, while you're going, try taking your knee and bending it up and down, because when you foot brake, your knee is going to be bent a little bit more than usual, so it can help kind of simulate almost what the feeling of foot braking is without actually doing it. So that's definitely something that'll help, and I would recommend trying that as well. So once you've mastered those 2 things, we can finally get into the actual foot braking and how to do it. So let's start with that now. So another thing, when you're learning how to foot brake, just standing on your board and pushing it can actually help a lot. When I first learned how to do it, what I would do is just push the board normally, like I'm pumping and giving it speed, but just kind of drag your foot a little bit as you're pushing and get used to dragging your foot on the ground a little bit more than you'd normally be used to, because that's essentially what the foot brake is. You put your foot on the ground and you push on the ground to slow the board down. So getting comfortable with pushing and then a slight drag is going to help you with that to get to the full thing. Once you practice that a little bit, essentially with the foot brake, if you're goofy like me where you ride with your right foot in front, you're going to want to take your left foot off the board, put it on the ground, and as you put it on the ground, you take your right foot and you bend your knee and you put most of the pressure on that leg. Most of the pressure actually comes from the foot that stays on the board, which is why it's really important for you to be able to ride with only that foot on the board before you learn the foot brake. So you put most of the weight and pressure on the foot that's still on the board, and then you take your other foot and you slowly push it onto the ground just enough so that you can feel the friction slowing you down. And that's essentially it. That's how you do it. It's pretty simple once you get it, and once you get it, it's pretty hard to mess up. It's probably going to save you more than it's going to mess you up. So another thing, I would recommend not trying to foot brake if you're going more than like 25 miles per hour, because anything that speed or faster is really going to be kind of dangerous to be taking any feet off the board, and you kind of want to be locked in. And really at those speeds, that's when you're going to want to learn your slide brakes, which can definitely be a different video, but that's more advanced and that's not going to be this video. This is really helpful for if you're just cruising along and you have to stop to go over a bump or a bridge, or you're going down a slight hill and you just need to stop. This is going to save you a lot of times. Okay, so now that you know how to do the foot brake, I'm going to talk to you about two different types of foot brake, and that's the using your toe or using your heel. So a lot of people will use their toe when they brake, just because that's their midfoot and the front of their foot, and it's just natural. But doing that can wear your shoes down a lot. And I can show you actually. This is my shoe, and there's two giant holes in it. This is the sole of the shoe. I actually need to probably either get new shoes or put duct tape on them. But as you can see, it definitely creates holes in your shoes. So personally, what I would say to do is brake normally. If that's your toe or your heel, fine, whatever. But once your shoe starts wearing down, because it will wear down, try to consciously remember to brake either with your heel or your toe. It's simple as just rotating your foot and pushing a different part of it on the ground. It's kind of good to keep that in mind and keep that on your brain, because it helps so that you can use your shoes longer in the long run without having them wear down right away. So just something to keep in mind. Switch between your toe and your heel if you can, because it gives you more time to use your shoe. Alright guys, I got one last tip for you. If nothing else here worked, I'm really hoping this will get it to work for you. So basically, what you do, put the board on some concrete, put your dominant foot on the front of it, put your braking foot on the ground, and take your foot on the board and the foot on the ground and alternate them back and forth so that your board is sliding a little bit. As you see in this clip right here, your feet are moving back and forth, and it's kind of representing exactly that, the amount of weight that you need on each foot, and hopefully that helps you understand how much weight you really need to have on that foot on the board versus the foot on the ground. So if that doesn't help you, please let me know in the comments any other way that I can help you. And yeah, that's the last tip. That's pretty much all I got for this tutorial, guys. I hope you learned something new. Go try out and practice this foot braking technique, because you need to know it. If you're longboarding, skateboarding, cruiser boarding, any kind of boarding, you kind of need to know how to foot brake. So go practice it. Let me know how it goes. If you have any questions or need tips on why it's not working for you, feel free to leave it in the comment section. And if you'd like to subscribe, that would be great, because I'm posting new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. But that's all I got for you. I'm not going to waste your time anymore. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the new video, and peace out.